A woman travels through time to the Beastman continent and turns into a white fox, with a special physique that never misses a target. To save the white fox tribe with a tiny population, she took 8 stunning beastmates at once. Her daily task is to have cubs. Nothing but having cubs all day long. One day she gives birth to a lion cub, the next a little wolf cub, all because the woman accidentally got a childbirth system, which grants her the special ability of painless delivery. Besides, the more cubs she has, the better the rewards she gets. They include not only gene potions that can make beastmen evolve, even pink Gatling guns glowing with blue light. Every male in the Gatling tribe wants to be her beastmate, but her fiancé chose to break off the engagement with her, trying to use the excuse that she is infertile, to cover up the fact that he is impotent. Seeing this, the males drove him away furiously, and knelt down in front of the woman one after another to confess their love. Although the white fox tribe is not powerful, all the females here are stunningly beautiful, so it has attracted many powerful tribes to come for marriage alliances. But a sudden plague cost the tribe several precious females. Now Zhang Yue is the only unmarried white fox left. Zhang Yue had just sent away Huang Xian, who came to break off the engagement. Yan Che from the Grey Wolf tribe suddenly knelt on both knees beside her, looking at Zhang Yue sincerely, and swore that he was willing to stay by her side as an ordinary beastmate. The onlookers all showed shocked expressions. You should know that the talent of males on the Beastman continent is ranked from high to low as red, orange, yellow, green, cyan, blue, purple. Yan Che is a powerful beastman of the green rank, is actually courting Zhang Yue, who is said to have defective fertility, and not even as the first beastmate. Just then, a deep, majestic voice sounded from behind Yue. Please allow me to be your first beastmate. I swear to be loyal to you and give everything I have to you. This man was Hope, the young chief of the Lion tribe. He was also a powerful orange rank warrior. Zhang Yue glanced at the 2 handsome male beastmen kneeling in front of her. My fertility is defective. Are you sure you want to marry me? The 2 said in unison. We do. Zhang Yue breathed a sigh of relief and showed a sweet smile. I do too. Huang Xian's face was ashen at this moment. He had planned to leave dejectedly. Unexpectedly, another person he never expected also stepped forward. A tall, slender figure walked out from the crowd. Ling Qingyun from the Red Fox tribe is here to court. To Zhang Yue of the White Fox tribe. Please give me your consent. The crowd was too shocked to react anymore. Everything that happened today was beyond their understanding. The Red Fox tribe is much more powerful than the White Fox tribe. Red Fox beastmen are naturally good at scheming. They don't make a living by hunting, but by doing business. Almost all the salt trade is controlled by the Red Fox clan. Even large tribes like the Lion tribe dare not offend the Red Fox people easily. Besides, Ling Qingyun is a once-in-a-century genius of the Red Fox tribe. His strength has reached an unbelievably high level. Hope tensed up instantly. Yan Che's strength is not strong, so he can suppress him easily. But Ling Qingyun is a strong opponent. Zhang Yue was a little embarrassed. After all, she was a modern person from the 21st century and hadn't adapted to the Beastman continent yet, especially this kind of one female, multiple males marriage system. Ling Qingyun noticed her embarrassment, said thoughtfully, Yue, you must be tired today, right? I just brought a lot of gifts. Have something to eat first, and get some good rest. As for the matter of the first beastmate, we can decide tomorrow during the mating ceremony. Zhang Yue breathed a sigh of relief. That works for me. Please stand up. I agree to let you be my beastmate. Hope and Ling Qingyun both brought courtship gifts. The gifts they brought soon filled Zhang Yue's cave. All kinds of dried fruit, dried meat, and salt piled up into a small hill. Yan Che came here to pack up his relics originally, so he had nothing prepared. He awkwardly took out a piece of tender meat. It was the tenderest part of a gray rabbit he hunted on the way here, and he dedicated it to Zhang Yue. Zhao Ye noticed his nervousness, took the meat with a smile, and brought it to her mouth, then started eating it greedily. After Zhang Yue finished eating the meat, she was a little sleepy, looking at the 3 people who refused to leave, and waved her hand helplessly. Make yourselves at home. I'm going to sleep first. None of the 3 would give in to each other. They huddled on the ground and spent the whole night crowded together. The next morning when the sun rose, the shaman of the White Fox tribe began to prepare for the mating ceremony. Zhang Yue was woken up gently by Yan Che. Her pretty face blushed slightly. This was her first marriage, and she was marrying 3 males at the same time. Although the choice of partners was very hasty, she had to use the childbirth system to become stronger as soon as possible. Besides, the three of them were willing to mate with her even though they knew that the original owner had defective fertility, which was proof of their true feelings. The three accompanied Zhang Yue to the shaman's cave. On the way, they explained the marriage ceremony of the Beastman continent in detail. On the Beastman continent, females' fertility is extremely important. And because females are physically weak, they are becoming rarer and rarer. The male-to-female ratio on the Beastman continent has reached a terrifying 49.1. Therefore, the Beastman continent implements a marriage system of one female with multiple males. A female can have multiple beastmates in her lifetime, while a male can only choose one female to mate with. Shoiga nodded slightly. She finally understood why the childbirth system is the most overpowered thing in this world. Because fertility is the most important talent for beastmen, especially for females. But for Zhang Yue, what she looks forward to most is improving her own strength. The four walked hand in hand to the front of the shaman's cave. The shaman was already waiting for them there. The shaman was an elderly woman, wearing special shaman clothing. With mysterious totems painted on her face, the shaman looked at them kindly. Let's get started. Who is the first beast mate? 3 pairs of beast eyes looked at Zhang Yue at the same time, their eyes full of expectation and nervousness. Shonya took a deep breath. On the way here, she had already decided to treat all 3 equally. Excuse me. I want to tattoo all 3 of their beast forms on my body. Is that okay? Tears welled up in Yanqi's eyes. He had never thought that his beast form would be tattooed on a female's body one day. Hope and Ling Qingyun had no objections at all. Both of them had long been eager to be Zhang Yue's first beast mate, and neither wanted to be ranked below the other. The shaman showed a gentle expression. All right, child. But tattooing the beast forms will hurt a little. As the mating ceremony officially began, the shaman used red and blue pigments made from plants and applied them to the faces of Zhang Yue and the 3 males. Yancha's tattoo was on his forehead. Hope's tattoo was on his left shoulder, close to his heart. Ling Qingyun's tattoo was on the right side of his neck. All 3 beastmates chose the fatal parts of their bodies for the tattoos. This was all to show their respect and loyalty. Zhang Yu had all 3 of their beast forms tattooed on her arm. The 3 tattoos were arranged in a staggered pattern and looked very beautiful. Zhang Yu was very satisfied. She thanked the shaman politely. After that, the 4 returned to the cave and started talking about their future plans. Zhang Yu got straight to the point. I don't want to leave the White Fox tribe for now. I want to have a litter of cubs first. The 3 were shocked at first, then showed ecstatic expressions. They never even thought to question Zhang Yue's defective fertility. They were just overjoyed that Zhang Yue was willing to have cubs with them. Zhang Yue's eyes softened. 1 beastmate will stay with me every day. The other 2 will go out hunting. We will take turns, is that okay? The 3 of them naturally obeyed Zhang Yue's arrangement. Their small family really needed people to go hunting. They couldn't just sit around and use up their supplies forever. Unexpectedly, Zhang Yue didn't let Yanqi stay on the first night. But she didn't plan to have a baby right now. The system reminded before, the higher the talent rank of a beast husband, the higher the talent of the cubs born will be. You can get more rewards. She stroked Yancha's furry head soothingly, until the wolf ears on top of his head perked up again. Then she told Lin Xingyun, Ache is the youngest among the 3 of you. Teach him more when you can about hunting. After the 2 left, only Zhang Yue and Hop were left in the cave. The atmosphere turned ambiguous in an instant. A low, suppressed growl rumbled deep in Hop's throat. He pounced on her excitedly right away. The next day at dawn, Chol Gao Cup, only to find Lin Xingyun out hunting with an iron spear. It's not that there are no iron tools on the Orc continent, but the smelting technology for crude iron is extremely poor. As a result, the iron tools produced are not even as sharp and durable as stone tools. They gradually fell out of use over time, but the one in Zhang Yue's hand glowed with a cold metallic sheen, clearly extremely sharp at first glance. If this kind of iron tool can be mass-produced and sold outside, he will undoubtedly become the richest person on the Orc continent. At the thought of this, Lin Xingyun's eyes lit up. Yuer, this iron spear is very sharp. Where did you get it, if I may ask? If we can mass-produce it, our tribe's strength will definitely improve rapidly. The mortality rate of males will also drop significantly. Zhouya nodded thoughtfully. No matter what era it is, weapons are one of the most important guarantees of strength. But this iron spear was a reward from the system. How can we achieve mass production? I can't possibly rely on having babies myself. And exchanging points to get enough for mass production, right? At this thought, Xiaoge shivered. No matter how many babies she can have, she can't arm every single person on the Orc continent anyway. She frowned, deep in thought. That being the case, it's better to teach people to fish than to give them fish. If iron smelting technology can be spread across the Orc continent, she would have done a great good deed. She called for the system in her mind. After a brief exchange, the system quickly gave a reply. Crude iron technology guide found for you. Complete book of iron crafting. Each costs 500 points to redeem. You can redeem them after you give birth to your cubs. Zhang Yue was overjoyed at first when she heard they could be redeemed. Then she realized something was off. What do you mean after I give birth to cubs? Am I already pregnant? The system replied. Yes, congratulations, host. You are already pregnant with your first litter of cubs. The system will continuously monitor your physical condition. Good luck. Coming back to her senses, Zhang Yue smiled and said, The iron spear was made by my father. He taught me iron smelting technology before, but after I fell into the water, I forgot a lot of things. I'll definitely tell you once I remember it. So it was left by your uncle? Lin Xingyun said guiltily. I'm sorry, Wei-er. I didn't know that. Jiang Yue smiled and said, It's okay. We have a new family now. People always have to look forward, right? Aren't I right, Xingyun? Stay with me today. Ache, you go hunting with Hop. Although she knew she was already pregnant, the proper wedding night procedures still had to be completed. Just then, Hop finished making breakfast. Zhang Yue chewed on the carefully prepared barbecue meat Hop made, while thinking that when life gets better later, she must redeem more seasoning and recipes from the system to improve their quality of life. Otherwise, if this goes on for too long, she will be assimilated into a savage too. At the thought of this, Zhang Yue felt very melancholy. Life is so hard. This place is full of dangers, and resources are scarce. Everything needs to be redeemed with points. At the thought of this, Zhang Yue couldn't help but start looking forward to the cubs in her belly. The system said before, the more cubs you give birth to, and the stronger their talent is, the more points she can get. After getting points from having cubs, she can redeem crude iron technology and farming technology to strengthen her own tribe. The more Zhang Yue thought about it, the more hopeful she felt. Her eyes were sparkling. Lin Xingyan smiled and tapped her cute little nose. What good thing are you thinking about, Yue? I'm thinking about how to make money. Zhang Yue smiled and said, Xingyun, tell me about the salt business of your Red Fox tribe. I didn't know my female is such a little money grubber. Lin Xingyun gently stroked her black hair and began to speak slowly. I don't know how long passed. She fell asleep without realizing it. Zhang Yue slept until the sun was setting in the west. She felt a little hungry after waking up. I want boiled ripe fruit and roasted meat. Lin Xingyun lowered his head and smiled. This fox will obey your order. When he went to prepare dinner, Hop and Yanqi also came back with the White Fox tribe's hunting team. Hop stood at Zhang Yue's door, covered in the smell of blood. Yue, I smell too bad. I'm going to take a bath in the river first. Don't wait for me for dinner. Zhang Yue ruffled his blonde hair. Go take your bath quickly. Xingyun is making dinner now. It will probably take a while. We'll eat together when you come back. When Lin Xingyun came back with the food, Hop had also finished his bath in a hurry. Yanqi brought back the largest piece of meat allocated to their family, and it was also the most tender. The chief was very happy and made the fire burn brighter. The orcs of the tribe gathered around the fire, singing and dancing. Everyone was eating meat in big bites. Zhang Yue was also infected by the atmosphere. She couldn't help saying, I wish I had a glass of wine. Lin Xingyun blew on a piece of fruit to cool it down and fed it to her. What is wine? Zhang Yue smiled and said, It's a kind of drink made by fermenting grain or fruit. You'll feel warm all over after drinking it, and your mood will lift. That's so magical. The businessman's little abacus in Lin Xingyun's mind was clacking away loudly. Zhang Yue cut off his question before he could ask. I don't remember how to make it right now. Maybe I'll remember it someday. Lin Xingyun rubbed her helplessly. No rush, Weir. Take your time to remember. The four of the family slept extra soundly that day because they were really exhausted. Early the next morning, Zhang Yue left Yanqi at home. Hop and Lin Xingyun went out hunting. But what she didn't expect was the seemingly most well-behaved and innocent Yanqi turned out to be extremely aggressive. Zhang Yue, who had finally felt like she recovered, was completely worn out again. She stared blankly at the dark ceiling and decided to announce that she was pregnant. The next day, Zhang Yue gathered her 3 beast husbands together. She said, I've been feeling a bit unwell these days. I want to go see the witch doctor. All three of them looked tense. Females on the Orc continent have weak constitutions, and they often die from unknown illnesses. Their nerves were stretched almost to the breaking point. Zhang Yue comforted them. It's probably nothing serious. Let's go there now. It didn't take long for the four of them to arrive at the witch doctor's cave. After hearing why they had come, the witch doctor touched Zhang Yue's lower abdomen. After a careful examination, she said, in my old woman's experience, "You are probably pregnant." The three men fell silent for a moment. All of their expressions were unreadable. Zhang Yue broke the silence first. "What, are you all scared, stupid?" Yancha jumped up right away. "Yue, is this true?" Zhang Yue smiled and said, "The witch doctor said so. It should be real." The witch doctor also smiled and agreed that she was most likely pregnant. "Oh, you silly kid. You're so lucky. We originally thought you couldn't have children. Who would have thought that even with the supposedly defective fertility, you could get pregnant so quickly? That's amazing, little cub. Where we're having a baby." Yansha rushed forward excitedly. He originally wanted to hug Zhang Yue, but he was afraid he would jostle her, so he had to slam to a stop right in front of Zhang Yue. Lin Qingyun kept repeating blankly that they were having a baby. "Where we're having a baby. That way, I don't have to leave the White Fox tribe anymore. I can stay here and be with you forever." Hope was also so excited that he didn't know where to put his hands. As the young chief of the Lion tribe, he has no less responsibility than Lin Qingyun. But now that the female is pregnant, everything prioritizes the female's needs first. He just needs to send the good news to his parents. They crowded forward excitedly. All of them kept saying they were going to be fathers. This is a long-standing tradition on the Orc continent. In a big family, as long as the female gives birth to cubs, all of her beast husbands will raise the cubs together. No one will distinguish who the biological father is. Zhang Yue felt a little awkward. Only she knew the cub in her belly was a lion cub. But that's okay. There will definitely be chances in the future for Lin Qingyun and Yanche to have their own biological cubs. Qingyun is smart. Yancha is cute and kind. Their children definitely won't be bad. Zhang Yue also couldn't wait to pet little fox and little wolf cubs, so she was really looking forward to it. All right. Don't crowd the pregnant female." The witch doctor pretended to be stern and scolded them, but the joy in his eyes was impossible to hide. "Take your little female home now. Take good care of her during this period. Try not to let her walk around too much, so you don't hurt the cub in her belly." The three of them agreed immediately. They didn't even know how they managed to bring Zhang Yue home. After they got home, they went out of their way to attend to her every need. They were running around frantically for a while. Zhang Yue, on the other hand, was very calm. "I'm fine. Hope, go chisel a stone pot. From now on, all water and food I eat must be boiled first." Then Zhang Yue turned to Qingyun and instructed, "Take our household supplies to trade for some soft animal hides. Lay them all over the house to prevent slipping and getting injured. I can't think of anything else for now." The two of them smiled. "Don't worry, leave it all to us." Yancha stayed by Zhang Yue's side, taking care of her every step of the way, never leaving her side, even though Zhang Yue emphasized many times that she wasn't that fragile. The three of them still took care of her down to the smallest detail. Zhang Yue had no chance to refuse at all. It even made Zhang Yue a little flustered. Zhang Yue was uncomfortable at first, but gradually she got used to it and accepted it calmly. She also gradually felt her morning sickness symptoms getting worse. Time flew by. The cub in her belly was growing very fast. Zhang Yue's belly was already obviously pregnant, even though she barely went out. The news of her pregnancy still spread throughout the tribe. In Zhonglinger's cave, she angrily smashed a stone bowl. How is that possible? She only made it a few days ago, and she's already pregnant. With her lousy, defective fertility, how does she deserve that? She must have hooked up with some random male before she mated. Then Zhonglinger pointed at a few of her smarter beast husbands. You spread the word that the cub in Zhang Yue's belly belongs to someone else. It's not her beast husband's child at all. She got pregnant before she even mated with them. I want to see if her beast husbands will still be so devoted to her. No one knows when it started. Rumors began to spread in the White Fox tribe. Zhang Yue's pregnancy was most likely conceived before she mated with her partners. Even though it was a completely baseless rumor, a lot of people believed it. The rumors in the tribe soon reached Zhang Yue's ears. It looked like someone was deliberately gossiping outside her cave. Hope's face turned dark with rage. Yue, don't worry. We will definitely catch the person who spread these rumors and clear your name. The anger in Hope's chest was so intense he felt like he would explode. Yue's pregnancy is a blessing, yet she's being slandered like this. Even though there are more males than females on the Orc continent, that doesn't mean females have higher status than males. If a female gets pregnant with another male's child before mating, it's a huge scandal. And it's completely unacceptable under the Orc continent's values. After listening to the three men's angry recount of the rumors, Jingyue finally understood the whole situation. What's the chief and the witch doctor's attitude? Hope replied, they are fully on your side. After all, the witch doctor confirmed your pregnancy herself. The chief also talked to me. He is willing to believe you are innocent. But he can't ignore the public opinion in the tribe either. He hopes we can put an end to the rumors as soon as possible. Zhang Yue stroked her large, swollen belly and said the cubs will probably be born in about 10 days. I have a feeling there's more than one cub this time. When the cubs are born, everyone will see. I got pregnant because I have strong fertility, not because I conceived before mating. The rumors will fall apart on their own then. Zhang Yue's expression turned cold. But we can't just sit back and not fight back. Qing Yun, go investigate secretly who spread the rumors. Focus on the families that have a grudge against me. Once you find out who started the rumors, beat them up first. Tie them up and send them to the chief. Let the chief decide their punishment. Lin Qingyun's handsome face was solemn. There was cold, murderous intent in his fox eyes. Just focus on resting and raising the cubs. Leave the rest to us. On the Orc continent, attacking another male's female is the same as directly provoking a male's dignity. This calls for a duel. Anyone who dares to hurt your heir will face a fight to the death. He won't let them get off easy. After making all the arrangements, Zhang Yue laid back on the stone bed peacefully. She trusted Lin Qingyun and Hope's abilities completely. Yanshe, on the other hand, was pacing around anxiously. He was afraid Zhang Yue would take this too hard and do something reckless. Then he comforted her carefully. Yue, I will always be on your side. You are the most perfect female in our hearts. Zhang Yue opened her eyes amusedly. Of course I know I'm the most perfect. When Yanqi saw that Zhang Yue didn't seem bothered at all, his heart ached and he didn't know what to do. He anxiously checked Zhang Yue's body over and over again. Zhang Yue saw that she couldn't calm him down anytime soon. She felt a little helpless too. She smiled and waved her hand. Ache, come here. Yansha's tail and ears popped out automatically. He subconsciously leaned over to Zhang Yue's side. Suddenly, Zhang Yue mischievously bit his fluffy ear. Don't worry, Achi. Let's do something fun to take our minds off it, okay? Meanwhile, Zhang Linger on the other side was going crazy. She had ordered her beast husbands to spread the rumors like crazy these past few days. But Zhang Yue didn't seem to be affected at all. Not only did her beast husbands not doubt her, even the chief showed no sign of punishing Zhang Yue. She's just a female with defective fertility. Why does she deserve so many people protecting her? Suddenly, Zhang Linger clutched her stomach. Cold sweat kept pouring down her face. My stomach hurts so bad. Take me to the witch doctor right now. She had just walked to the door when she was blocked. The one leading the group was the chief. Hope and Lin Qingyun were standing next to the chief. Behind them were several tightly tied male orcs being escorted. They were exactly Zhang Linger's beast husbands. Zhang Linger was shocked and furious, Chief. What are you doing? The chief had a very stern expression. Zhang Linger, you are a female. You're supposed to discipline your own beast mates. But those few people spread malicious rumors. They have tarnished the reputation of females in the White Fox tribe. According to tribal rules, they should be sentenced to flogging. No, I don't agree. Zhang Linger shouted out of control. On what grounds are you arresting my beast mates? Do you have any evidence? The tribal chief roared angrily. Luckily, Qingyun found out the place where these people spread rumors. He took me there, and I heard it with my own ears. How could I possibly wrong them? Zhang Linger panicked. It's all that bitch Zhang Yue who framed them. Right, I have given birth to cubs before, and I have made contributions to the tribe. How can you convict my family so casually? Zhang Linger held her swollen belly, shouting confidently and aggressively. What's more, I'm pregnant right now. You can't punish my beast mates. The chief hesitated. According to tradition, we really cannot punish the partners of a pregnant female. Even if they are at fault, they can only be locked up temporarily. Seeing the chief was in a dilemma, Hope stepped forward voluntarily. Tribal rules indeed prohibit punishing the partners of pregnant females, but according to the tradition of the Beastman continent, I challenge your most talented beastmate to a duel. There is no winning or losing, only life or death. Hearing this, all the beastmen erupted in excitement. A duel. It is a sacred tradition passed down since ancient times on the Beastman continent. Once it starts, it cannot be stopped, until one party dies. Jiang Linger's face kept turning pale then green. The strongest of her beastmates is only at green rank. He is no match for an orange rank warrior at all. Jiang Linger looked at her strongest beastmate and shouted, "Yuan Zhentian, don't you dare embarrass me!" Yuan Zhentian jolted, his gaze turning fierce. He shapeshifted into a 2-meter-tall ape, leaped up, and charged straight at Hope. No one insults Linger. Right after he finished speaking, Hope killed him instantly with a single spear strike. His huge body crashed heavily to the ground. "He's dead!" The beastmen let out excited cheers. The fight was quick and neat. Hope won fair and square. Jiang Linger's face looked extremely unsightly. "You won, what do you want?" Hope shifted back to his human form and said coldly, "You will kneel and apologize to Yue, and promise never to hurt her again from now on. Then take your beastmates and leave the White Fox tribe." Jiang Linger's face alternated between green and white again. "I agree to your terms, but only after I give birth to my cubs." On the other side, Jiang Yue was quite angry. She didn't know about this whole incident until Hope came back. "This Jiang Linger has gone way too far," Hope said originally. "Qingyuan only wanted to tie up those rumor spreaders and flog them. I didn't expect Jiang Linger to stop the punishment by leveraging her pregnancy, so I had to propose a duel." Jiang Yue stroked Hope's frizzy, messy blonde hair. "You did the right thing. It's just a pity about that beastmate of hers." Hope didn't expect Jiang Yue to agree with his decision, and he got a little carried away for a moment. His ears and tail popped out unconsciously. After the rumor incident died down, Jiang Yue had already entered her expected delivery period. Her belly grew to an unbelievably large size, and fetal movements were very obvious. She couldn't sleep through the night at all. Luckily, Jiang Yue could catch up on sleep during the day, almost doing nothing but eating and sleeping. The shaman specially sent someone to deliver a message, advising Jiang Yue to walk more in her 3rd trimester. Otherwise, she would easily have a difficult labor. Jiang Yue had to drag her heavy body out of bed, forcing herself to walk around the tribe once every day. All her beastmates felt extremely distressed. Yansha had also stayed up for several days straight. With dark circles under his eyes, he supported Jiang Yue as they walked slowly. We won't have any more kids after this. We'll just raise the cubs from this litter, okay?" Jiang Yue also felt exhausted, but she still needed to earn points with the childbirth system. Hearing what he said, she just teased Yanche. "Ache, don't you want little wolf cubs?" Yansha said hurriedly. "Of course I do. But I hate seeing you work so hard even more." Jiang Yue tapped his forehead. "But I want to have a whole litter of wolf cubs for my Ache." Jiang Yue was walking around the tribe with her big belly. As they were chatting, she suddenly felt a sharp pain in her abdomen. She gripped Yanche's hand tightly. "Hurry, take me to the shaman's cave. I'm going into labor." Yansha immediately picked up Jiang Yue and rushed to the shaman's cave. She was laid on the stone bed. The shaman hurried over to check her condition. Her 3 beastmates could only stand aside helplessly. Jiang Yue shouted anxiously in her mind, "System! System, come out now." Host detected entering labor. Activating protection measures. "Don't worry, host. Your body won't be in any danger at all." Hearing the system's assurance, Jiang Yue finally relaxed. Earning points is important, but her own life is way more important. Suddenly, the shaman's joyful voice rang out. "It's out! The cub is out!" The shaman held out a wet little lion from under Jiang Yue. Hope's mind went blank and light, until the shaman put the little lion cub in his arms. Only then did his racing heart settle down. When
Just
Kiki's
then,
knees
the
gave,
shaman
she knelt on the ground,
joyful
coughing
voice
and Jiang Yue
choking
couldn't
again.
hold back her
The second
anger.
one
"If
is
she
born.
dies,
Who's
who's going
crazy?
to treat me?"
It's
twins. Only females with top-tier fertility can do this. Hope looked at the second lion cub placed in his arms, falling into shock once again. At this moment, the shaman's overjoyed voice came yet again. "Another one! Another one is born!" The cubs were born one after another. Meanwhile, in Jiang Yue's mind, the system's announcements kept ringing out. "Congratulations to the host for giving birth to 12 offspring in 1 litter. 7 lion form, 5 fox form. Talents, 1 red rank, 2 orange rank, 4 yellow rank, 4 green rank, 1 cyan rank. Points awarded 1190. Rewards for host, potato seeds, baggy shorts." After giving birth, Jiang Yue weakly opened her eyes. The 3 beastmates and the shaman were all too shocked to react, numb with surprise. On the Beastman continent, a female with this level of fertility is simply unheard of. The shaman placed the still slightly wet cubs next to Jiang Yue. Jiang Yue felt the warm little bundles, wiggling and nudging around her, all looking very energetic. Ling Xingyun looked at her with a complicated and reverent expression. You actually have supreme fertility. Am I dreaming? Jongye gave a weak smile. It's definitely real, no mistake about it. There is an ancient legend about the beast god on the Beastmen continent. It is said that ancient beastmen had great difficulty conceiving offspring. And when their tribes were on the verge of extinction, the beastmen prayed devoutly to the beast god. The beast god heard their prayers and sent down a person blessed by the gods. Legend has it that the only female with supreme fertility is the one blessed by the beast god, and the year in front of them is obviously that lucky one. After hearing their story, Zhang Yue raised her eyebrows. She was very sure that she was not some so-called god-blessed person, but she couldn't explain her super fertility or the existence of the system, so she just nodded and went along with this assumption. Yes, I have heard the voice of the beast god before. She guides me to help the beastmen reproduce and raise offspring. The three men were filled with excitement and knelt down in front of the bed one by one. Even the elderly shaman also knelt down tremblingly with his young apprentice. Thank you, beast god. Gang Wei echoed along. Though she didn't have much reverence for the beast god in her heart, having this identity could save her from a lot of trouble. She said hurriedly, Shaman, please stand up quickly. I haven't thanked you for delivering my babies yet. You guys get up too quick? It's my honor to deliver for a female with top-tier fertility. Wu was overwhelmed with excitement. He personally cut the umbilical cords for the little ones, cleaned their bodies thoroughly, then laid them next to Jiang Yue. But there was no baby formula or feeding bottles at all, so the cubs I gave birth to really have to be fed by me. Jiang Yue shifted into a tiny white fox and lay on the bed. She felt the little chubby cubs climbing onto her body. They started suckling instinctively without being taught. Then she fell into a deep sleep. Her three beast mates all breathed a sigh of relief when they saw she was willing to nurse. Otherwise, they definitely wouldn't be able to feed so many cubs. Then the three of them gently carried her and the cubs back to their own cave. The beastmen they passed along the way, after seeing the number of cubs in the litter, all had their jaws dropped in shock. The rumor that Zhang Yue had top-tier fertility quietly spread throughout the tribe. The chief was so overjoyed when he heard the news that he jumped high in the air. Even though Huo Pu will definitely take her back to the Bear Clan tribe later. But we can keep one or two of the tiger cubs anyway, right? 3 of them are precious females after all. Besides, Jiang Yue is a female from their White Fox tribe. All the powerful males who come to court her in the future will have to marry into the White Fox tribe. This way, the White Fox tribe will be on par with large tribes. And even catching up to super large tribes is just around the corner. Just as the chief was having this excited daydream, he had no idea a natural disaster was quietly brewing. It rained heavily all night long. When Jiang Yue woke up, it was already the next morning. She found that her figure was almost no different from before she got pregnant. The parts that should be curvy were even curvier than before, making her even more attractive and alluring. Her 3 beast mates were all filled with amazement in their eyes. Their little female was so beautiful that no one could take their eyes off her. Jiang Yue finished the nutritious meal they prepared carefully. She had just eaten and drunk her fill when the cubs started wailing from hunger again. She had no idea how such tiny little bodies could have such a big appetite. Jiang Yue had no choice but to shift into her beast form again. While nursing the cubs, she sorted through her system backpack at the same time. After 2 months of hard work, it was finally time to check the results. The points on the system panel had already accumulated to 1,190 points. Jiang Yue exchanged for a guide to wild iron smelting technology. Then, she also bought goat milk formula for pets and pet feeding bottles. She stored the remaining points away. The points are still far from enough. Looks like I need to get pregnant with the next litter as soon as possible. Jiang Yue opened her eyes and called, Ache, go call Huopu and Qingyun back. I have something to give you all. Not long after, all 3 beast mates gathered around Jiang Yue's bed. Jiang Yue put on a serious face next. I will give you some items. These are all gifts from the beast god. Jiang Yue first took out the formula and feeding bottles and taught the 3 how to use them. All 3 were powerful beastmen. They mastered the skills very quickly. Each took a cub and started feeding them. The cubs were also cooperative. They drank the milk very contentedly. Jiang Yue breathed a sigh of relief. Thank goodness the cubs are willing to drink from the bottles. She can finally be free from nursing duty. Jiang Yue said to Yanche, Che, drink this potion. Yanche didn't even ask what it was. Just took it directly and drank it all in one go. Seeing that he trusted her so much, Jiang Yue showed a gentle smile. Xingyun, it's your turn. I remembered the wild iron smelting technology these past few days. Take this and study it. Master it as soon as possible. I'll leave our family's finances in your care from now on. Ling Qingyun could barely hide his excitement. That's amazing, Yue. With this, I promise, you will become the richest female on the Beastman continent. Zhang Yue smiled and took out a dagger. This is the reward I got for successfully giving birth to the cubs. It's a very high quality. Huopu is the bravest among you. This dagger belongs to you. Hava took the dagger hurriedly. It glinted with a sharp, cold light. Even the craftsmanship of the scabbard was extremely exquisite. It's so sharp, it deserves to be a gift from the beast god. Yue, you are really my lucky star. Ever since Zhang Yue took out the formula and feeding bottles, the 3 males switched to a routine where 1 went out hunting, and 2 stayed home to take care of the cubs. Zhang Yue finally didn't have to nurse the cubs anymore. And the cute, little cubs were raised by their 3 dads to be fluffy and chubby. They could already jump around on the bed. Jiang Wei had tasted the benefits of the childbirth system. She found the right opportunity and got intimate with Ling Qingyun successfully. She learned from the system that she was already pregnant with a litter of fox cubs. This time, Zhang Yue didn't make her beast mates wait too long. She told them as soon as she found out she was pregnant. The witch doctor came specially to check on her and confirmed the news that Jiang Yue was pregnant. The 3 beast mates were naturally both overjoyed and worried. Zhang Yue, on the other hand, was very expectant. After being modified by the system, giving birth won't affect her health at all. And she was also very much looking forward to it. The combination of white fox and red fox for this litter would give birth to a litter of colorful tiger cubs. She held her waist and walked back into the cave. She soon fell asleep. Half asleep and half awake, Zhang Yue suddenly heard the sound of flowing water. She opened her eyes abruptly. She looked down below the stone bed. The water had already submerged her fur boots. Oh no, it's a flood. She immediately shouted, Huopu. Yanshe, wake up. After the 2 saw the situation in front of them, they immediately broke out in a cold sweat from shock. They acted quickly. They tied a bundle out of animal hide and wrapped the dozen or so drowsy cubs inside, then slung it over their back. By the time they finished doing all this, the water level had already risen above their knees. Zhang Yue frowned deeply. The flood was coming with terrifying force. The situation was even more critical than she had imagined. She took an iron pot out of her system backpack, handed it to Huopu, and said, Huopu, protect the cubs well. Go out and notify the other people in the White Fox tribe. Make some noise. Yanshe, carry me on your back. We're heading for higher ground. After Yanshe's power reached the orange rank, he had become a lot calmer. He carried Zhang Yue on his back and walked steadily towards the nearest small hill. They had only taken a few steps when Zhang Yue heard the loud noise of Huopu hitting the iron pot coming from behind them. Flood is coming. Run! The people in the tribe were quickly awakened. They found that the flood had already reached their thighs, and they all panicked. They called for their family and friends to evacuate quickly. Huopu shouted around the whole tribe, then quickly caught up with Yanshe and Zhang Yue. With her 2 orange-rank beastmates guarding her side, Zhang Yue felt a lot more at ease. Let's go. In just a few minutes, the water had already reached Yanshe's thighs. Luckily, orange rank power was strong enough. They moved against the current. One carried the cubs on his back, the other carried the female on his back, and walked forward steadily. By now, the flood had reached their waists. Even Zhang Yue, who was being carried by Yanshe, had her legs soaked in the muddy water. It's so cold, she thought to herself. If this continues, this weak body will get a fever. She wiped the rain off her face and said, let's climb up a tree. Huopu, go pick the tallest big tree. Huopu handed her the hide bag holding the cubs. The little cubs were all soaked by now, letting out pitiful whimpers. Zhang Yue felt a sharp pain in her heart. The Beastman world is really cruel. No wonder the cub mortality rate is so high. Soon Huopu stopped in front of the sturdiest and tallest big tree. He climbed up the tree first and shifted into his human form. Yanshe hoisted Zhang Yue onto his shoulders. Then he handed her and the cubs to Hope with both hands. Zhang Yue was completely soaked through. She couldn't help clinging tightly to Hope. She was exhausted and sleepy by then. She fell asleep in no time. After she fell asleep, she felt colder and colder. She ended up running a fever. Hope and Yanshe were terrified. They had no idea if Wu Yi had survived. Yanshe touched Zhang Yue's burning forehead. Brother Hope, take good care of Yue Yue and the cubs. I'll go get the witch doctor. With that, he turned and jumped into the flood. Hope watched Yanshe helplessly, struggling to swim forward in the surging floodwaters, and soon vanished into the night. Hope took Zhang Yue and the cubs and moved to a higher tree branch. The cubs were whimpering softly right now, and were already extremely listless. They were only a few days old after all. Hope had to, once again, open the animal skin pouch holding the cubs to check on their condition. Just as he was distracted, disaster struck out of nowhere. From the murky floodwaters, a giant king cobra burst out violently and lunged straight for Hope, who was on the tree crown. Hope nimbly leapt to the side and dodged the cobra's attack. The cobra was obviously not easy to deal with. It twisted its body sharply in midair and then went straight for Jiang Yue's neck. Hope was horrified. He had no choice but to thrust his arm forward to block the strike for Jiang Yue. The cobra's fangs sank deep into Hope's muscular forearm. The cobra had no intention of fighting longer. It retreated right after the strike and vanished back into the floodwaters again. Hope frowned slightly. 2 tiny bleeding holes were left where the fangs had bitten him. His arm was already numb. Hope bit the tip of his tongue hard. To force himself to stay awake, he patted Jiang Yue's back gently. Yue Yue, wake up. After Jiang Yue woke up, she brushed the hair stuck to his handsome face aside. What's wrong? Hope was anxious and ridden with guilt. Yue Yue, I might not be able to protect you and the cubs anymore. I was bitten by a venomous snake. That snake is extremely powerful. Stronger than me. In the time it took to say these few words, Hope's lips had already turned purple. I'm useless. If anything happens to you, I'll go with you. With that, he passed out. Seeing this, Jiang Yue quickly exchanged her points for an antidote pill and fed it to him. Then she stared intently and warily at the flood below her feet. She had always been well protected by her 3 beastmen husbands. She hadn't faced danger alone like this in a very long time. Suddenly, there was movement on the water surface. A huge king cobra slowly poked its head out. Its massive size was extremely intimidating. People with megalophobia would, just by seeing his beast form, be unable to hold back screams and trembles. He seemed to want to see the little female's panicked expression, but he was quickly disappointed. There was no fear in her eyes, only calmness and coldness. Orcs instinctively hated this kind of gaze. Females were supposed to be gentle and soft, not like her, cold as a block of ice. The giant snake slithered to the little female's side. Its cold body slowly coiled around Jiang Yue. The psychological pressure of being coiled by a venomous snake was enormous. Jiang Yue's entire body was tense. She didn't move an inch. A drop of cold sweat trickled down the back of her neck. The king cobra didn't torture her for long. It seemed he only wanted to scare her. Soon the giant snake transformed into a male orc. He had very sharp, chiseled features. He had black hair and green eyes. His emerald pupils were like top-grade emeralds. Set in his face, his eyes wandered recklessly over Jiang Yue's body. Tianren curled his lips playfully, his voice deep and magnetic. Starting today, you belong to me. Jiang Yue lowered her head to hide the emotions in her eyes. Right now, she was just a weak female with no fighting power. She had no ability to fight him head-on, so she had to play along for now. I'll go with you, but don't hurt my cubs. Okay? Tianren turned his head and saw a pouch full of tiger cubs and lion cubs. He looked slightly surprised. The rumors are actually true. A female with top-tier fertility has appeared. He looked at Jiang Yue again. He said in a playful tone, "If you beg me, I won't kill them." He was very confident in his own venom. Hope was as good as dead anyway. Once he took Jiang Yue away, the cubs who lost their parents would naturally not survive. Jiang Yue lowered her voice. Please. Even though she was humbling herself, the hidden look in her eyes was cold, vigilant, and unyielding. He didn't see the look in her eyes. He lifted his sharp, chiseled jaw, his voice magnetic. This isn't how you beg someone. Swear to the beast god. From now on, I am your only beastman husband, and I'll spare them. Jiang Yue sighed inwardly. It seemed her cautious choice was right. He was here to take her only because of her top-tier fertility. That meant her life was safe for now. Jiang Yue quickly analyzed the situation in her mind. After weighing the pros and cons, she turned around, with a sweet smile already on her face. Sure, you haven't told me your name yet. I'm Tianren, a snake-form orc. What about you, little female? I'm Jiang Yue. I swear to the beast god. From now on, Tianren is my only beastman husband. As an outsider, Jiang Yue didn't believe in the beast god, so she felt no guilt at all for lying under oath. Tianren laughed loudly. He pointed at Hope and said, "This guy is your beastman husband, right?" Even though he's about to die. His face is still so annoying. For Hope, who was equally handsome, Tianren felt pure disgust. He raised his fingernail and slashed it hard across Hope's face, leaving two deep, bone-deep scars from the center of his forehead down to his cheek. Black, venomous blood gushed out from the wounds. His originally perfect face instantly looked disfigured and terrifying. You don't mind, right? His final face will probably be a bit ugly. Qianren looked at Zhang Yue with a slightly smug expression. Zhang Yue deliberately put on a disgusted look. She said coldly, "He really is ugly. Let's go. From now on, you're the only one who protects me." The king cobra in front of her obviously had a narcissistic personality and acted aggressively. The more she showed she cared about Hope, the faster Hope would die. So even though her heart was aching like it was bleeding, she couldn't show she cared. Seeing how ruthless she was being, Qianren lost interest in Hope. He then wrapped his arm tightly around Zhang Yue's waist and turned to leave. Qianren didn't notice that Hope, who he thought was as good as dead, had his slightly dim golden eyes open at this moment, staring fiercely at his leaving back. His eyes were filled with hatred. Zhang Yue, who was being held in Qianren's arms, was shivering from the cold right now. Qianren felt her abnormal body temperature. He frowned. Such a fragile female. It wasn't until dark the next day that Qianren stopped. Qianren's cave was located on a small island covered in mangrove forests. Zhang Yue had no idea where she had been taken. She was almost delirious from the fever by now. She was muttering nonstop in delirium. Qianren felt a headache coming on. He had no experience taking care of females. He never expected that a fever would be such a serious matter for a female. It's a very serious illness. As a red-rank male beastman, for a fever like this, he only needs to sneeze to get over it. Qianren turned around and left the cave. Zhang Yue heard him leave in her daze. She thought she had been abandoned by him. She thought to herself that she might really die this time. But it wasn't long before Qianren returned to the cave. Qianren found some herbs that can drive away the cold. That night he fed the herbs to Zhang Yue. Zhang Yue smelled the scent of the medicine. She opened her mouth and drank it subconsciously. Unfortunately, Qianren is not a witch doctor after all. He had no idea about the proper dosage. Not only did Zhang Yue's condition not improve, it got even worse instead. Qianren frowned. This can't go on like this. She might really die. He picked Zhang Yue up. He wrapped her shivering body in animal hide. He said, "I'll take you to the witch doctor. I won't let you die." Zhang Yue didn't respond to him. She just turned her face away, even when she was barely conscious. The unfamiliar embrace still made her act very disobedient. Qianren snorted coldly. Obviously, this female who said she wanted to be his only one during the flood was lying. What a disobedient little fox. Qianren carried Zhang Yue and darted into the jungle. He headed for the nearest tribe. He ran into 3 beastmen on the way, 2 males and 1 female. They looked very much alike. They must be siblings from the same family. Qianren stepped in front of them. He asked coldly, "Where is the nearest witch doctor?" The 2 male beastmen looked at each other. They didn't want to answer. Qianren flicked out his snake tongue. He threatened, "Speak fast, or you die, right then." The female on the bamboo raft curled her lip, and tears started falling down her face. The 2 brothers were intimidated by Qianren's power. They had to say, "Our sister is the witch. What do you need?" Luckily, the snake beastman didn't actually intend to kill them. He explained the whole story. Yuankeke summoned up her courage. She stepped forward to check Zhang Yue's condition. She breathed a sigh of relief after a while. Although this female in front of her was weak, she only had a fever from catching a cold. It was still treatable, but her current physical condition is a bit special. "Warrior, your female is pregnant." "Congratulations." Qianren's expression instantly turned gloomy. Full oppressive power poured out of him. The blood aura of a red-rank beast man is enough to make low-rank beastmen or small giant beasts submit directly. Yuankeki's knees went weak. She almost knelt down for Qianren. "Oh no, why am I so unlucky?" Yuankeke, a chubby little hamster beast man, was visibly shocked. Her round eyes were filled with terror. "This child is not yours." Qianren felt that his masculine dignity had been insulted. No, wait, Yuankeki's brain was racing fast. Since this male brought his female out to find a witch for treatment, that means he cares about her life at least. She carefully probed. Females in the beast world usually have multiple husbands anyway. This is not a big deal. If you don't like it, you can just give her to me. I'll take her back to the hamster tribe to raise. Don't take someone else's cub to heart. At least this beautiful female already belongs to you now. Qianren's furrowed brows loosened a little. Fine, let's leave it at that for now. Seeing that he had softened his stance, Yuankeke let out a silent sigh of relief. But Tianren's next words almost made her cry out loud. Then you come with me. Take care of my female for the time being. I will provide food and shelter. Although his words sounded polite, his actions were not polite at all. He directly knocked the two brothers unconscious and took the female witch doctor to this isolated island. Why is my life so bitter, UNKK? Rather than being invited here? It's no different from being captured. Scary snake beast man? I, UNKK, swear on the beast god to draw a circle and curse you. But under Tianren's intimidation, UNKK still complied. She's just a poor little hamster. She has no power to resist at all. But she quietly wrote Tianren down in her little grudge notebook. UNKK observed Jiang Yue's condition. She said, her condition is very dangerous right now. I need several kinds of herbs. Can you go get them for me? Tianren frowned even deeper. Name them. UNKK quickly listed several common herbs in the beast world. Tianren nodded, then turned into a giant snake and left. UNKK got a damp animal hide. She wiped Jiang Yue's body to bring down her fever. She looked up and found that Jiang Yue was awake. You're awake. UNKK touched her forehead. The temperature has gone down. She should be fine after taking the herbs. Jiang Yue looked around. Who are you? Where am I? This is the 10,000 Island Wetlands. I'm UNKK, the witch doctor of the hamster tribe. Chang Yue had heard most of the conversation. Between UNKK and Tianren just now, she knew the other person was kind. So she said directly, my name is Jiang Yue. I was snatched by the snake beastman you just saw. My beastmates and cubs are still in danger. UNKK's eyes widened. I knew it. Jiang Yue shushed her. Keep your voice down. He could come back anytime? UNKK immediately lowered her voice. Will your beastmates come to rescue you? Changya touched her still flat belly. They definitely will. But it will take time for them to find me. In the meantime, I have to protect my cub. So I will pretend to become mates with the snake beastman. KK, will you help me? UNKK is very timid. She instinctively hesitated. Jiaoya noticed her hesitation. You don't need to do anything dangerous. Just cure my illness. Take care of me during my pregnancy and help me deliver the baby. When the cub is born safely, I will definitely give you a reward. UNKK didn't care about the reward at all. She smiled and nodded. Even if you didn't say that, I would do my duty as a witch. I'm the youngest witch in our tribe, you know? Then I'll leave it to you. Also, I have a small favor to ask. Can you tell Tianren that I'm very weak, so I can't be intimate during pregnancy? UNKK hesitated to speak. That's not a problem, but you can hide for a while. You can't hide forever, right? What if your beastmates don't make it here before you give birth to the cub? Then that's my fate. Jiang Yue didn't think that she would never be able to escape. When this cub is born, the cub of Ling Qingyun, the orange rank beastmate, will definitely bring her more points and rewards. Suddenly, Jiang Yue started coughing. UNKK quickly handed water to her lips. Not long after she drank the water, Tianren came back. He handed the herbs to UNKK. Surprisingly, none of them were missing. UNKK was a little surprised. How did you gather them all so fast? Tianren frowned. I robbed the warehouses of several small tribes. Stop rambling, treat her quickly. UNKK shrank her neck and hurried to prepare the medicine. The so-called medicine preparation in the beast world is just pounding the herbs into juice according to a certain ratio. It's unbearably bitter when you drink it straight. Shoigimari a terrible face after just one sip. Tianren was consumed by fury. He immediately wrapped himself around UNKK's neck. You idiot, can you even cure her? Jiang Yue hurried to stop him. It's not her fault. The medicine is just too bitter. I already feel much better. Let her go right now. Tianren swept his cold gaze up and down Jiang Yue. After making sure she was all right, under Jiang Yue's anxious gaze, he finally let go of UNKK. UNKK's knees gave out. She knelt on the ground, coughing and choking in pain. Jiang Yue couldn't hold back her anger. Are you crazy? If she dies, who's gonna treat me? Tianren, who'd just been yelled at, froze awkwardly on the spot. Ever since he advanced to red rank, no one had ever dared to speak to him like that. But he didn't get mad at all. I thought she gave you something bad to drink. Jiang Yue stood up. She helped UNKK to her feet. Are you okay? Go rest for a bit. UNKK looked at the giant snake timidly. She was obviously terrified. Tears were welling up in her eyes. Jiang Yue sighed. There was no way Tianren was going to apologize, that was for sure. She opened her arms and hugged UNKK. Cry if you're scared. UNKK burst into loud sobs immediately. The huge coiled snake beside them stayed completely still, like he couldn't hear a thing. 3 days later, Zhang Yue made a full recovery. Though her constitution was weak, she usually took walks at least to keep up her strength, so she wasn't as frail as other beast females. The giant snake, on the other hand, didn't speak a word after that. He just went out hunting every day. He'd be back with prey in his mouth in less than 15 minutes. He'd drop it on the ground, then coil himself up again and ignore everything else. Zhang Yue rolled her eyes hard in her mind. He was clearly the one who messed up. Yet he looked like he was the one who'd been wronged. Who taught him that lousy attitude anyway? On the 4th day, Kenren went out hunting as usual. This time he was gone for a really long time. Zhang Yue thought he'd died outside and she was finally free. Unfortunately, before she could even celebrate, she saw Kenren in his human form, dragging a huge crocodile carcass, walking back leisurely. Zhang Yue sighed in disappointment. She was just about to turn around and go back into the cave, when she heard Kenren's sarcastic voice. What? Not happy with my gift? I killed the biggest and strongest crocodile to court you. Don't be so greedy. Zhang Yue stared at Kenren blankly. Her eyes were filled with shock. Why are you looking at me like I'm an idiot? Wait, isn't it true that you females require a gift before agreeing to mate? If you don't want it, I'll feed it to the dogs. Zhang Yue didn't say a word. She crossed her arms and looked at him indifferently. Kenren realized he wasn't welcome, so he had to change the subject. He pointed at Yuan Keiki. Yuan Keiki tensed up instantly. She looked like she was facing a great enemy. What is your order, warrior? Tianren was very satisfied with how tactful she was. I want to mate with my female. You will perform the marking ceremony for us. With that, he took off his animal skin robe. He pointed to the spot over his heart. I want it to be the biggest, most noticeable mark possible. Push, just a little more. Zhang Yue finally gave birth to her second litter. She had 10 cubs in one go, including 2 mutated 3-tailed green foxes. Meanwhile, under Kenren's threats and bribes, Yuan Keike had no choice but to do the marking for him. But the force she used when pricking the needles clearly had a bit of personal grudge behind it. Zhang Yue certainly wasn't going to expose her. She thought Yuan Keiki was going to pull some big stunt. But it turned out she just tattooed a really large design. The scene fell silent for a moment. Soon, a lifelike snake pattern gradually took shape on Kenren's body. A strange feeling crept into Zhang Yue's heart. It felt like from this day onward, she would be tied to this snake beast man forever. She didn't want to look anymore, so she turned her gaze away. Kenren admired the mark on his body proudly. He looked up at Zhang Yue, only to find she wasn't looking at him. A flicker of disappointment crossed his emerald green snake pupils. It was Zhang Yue's turn next. Following Yuan Keiki's instructions, she laid down on the stone bed face down. Her entire back was exposed. Kenren glanced over casually and accidentally caught sight of the soft curve of her side. His normally expressionless face quickly flushed with an awkward blush. Calm down. Zhang Yue reached out one hand and gently pressed her palm against Kenren's head. This usually cold and distant man was burning hot all over right now. Kenren was over the moon, and his body gradually calmed down. His snake tail also retracted back to his human form. When Keiki watched this bizarre scene, completely shocked inside. A red rank male had actually been tamed just like that, and he looked perfectly happy about it too. Could Sister Zhang Yue be a messenger of the beast god? Seeing that the situation had calmed down, Yuan Keiki finally started the marking process for Zhang Yue. What a shame. Such a beautiful, fair back is about to be marked with a giant snake tattoo. But for the sake of her own life and Zhang Yue's, she still started the work. Zhang Yue let out a pained hum the second the needle pricked her skin. Actually, Yuan Keiki was pressing very lightly, and Zhang Yue didn't really feel much pain. But to make it look like she was suffering badly during the marking process, she put on a show of agony and moaned continuously the whole time. Qianren's expression shifted from initial amusement and pleasure to a deep frown gradually. Are females really this fragile of a creature? He gently took Zhang Yue's hand off his head and pressed her palm against his chest. He said in a deep voice, Zhang Yue, I will never hurt you again. Zhang Yue fluttered her wet eyelashes open and hummed softly in response. The look in her eyes was enough to break anyone's heart. Kenren stood up abruptly. Stop the marking! We're not doing it anymore! Let's just leave it at that. Zhang Yue saw that her act had worked well enough and added fuel to the fire against her better judgment. Kenren, I can take it. I want to finish the marking ceremony. Kenren froze on the spot. In that moment, he almost wanted to rip his own heart out and give it to her. The always lawless giant snake hung his head low. Jiang Yue, am I that terrible? Jiang Yue struck while the iron was hot. You're barely qualified to be my mate. But your personality is really not that great. Qianren dejectedly shifted back into his snake form and coiled himself up at the entrance of the cave, all wronged. He shut himself off again. After Yuan Keiki finished the marking on her own, she let out a huge sigh of relief. This is the most majestic beast pattern I've ever tattooed. The mighty giant snake is as fierce and powerful as an ancient totem. The coldness in its snake eyes is exactly the same as Qianren's. The whole snake pattern has smooth lines, coiling all the way from Jiang Yue's shoulder down to her tailbone. Jiang Yue couldn't see it herself, and she didn't want to either. She gave a perfunctory response when she heard that, then put on her animal skin robe. Yuan Keiki turned to Qianren and said, "Now, you two are officially mates? As a mate, you must take on the responsibility of taking care of and providing for your female. Also, pregnant females are very fragile, so you can't be intimate with her for now." Disbelief flashed across Qianren's emerald snake pupils. Then how long do I have to wait? There was even a hint of grievance in his jewel-like eyes. Yuan Keiki felt a little guilty. The gestation period for white foxes is 2.5 years, and after Sister Jiang Yue gives birth, she needs to rest for a while before you can be intimate. The huge giant snake visibly drooped, coiled back up into his pile, and didn't say a word. Days passed peacefully after that. When they first met, Qianren used to flirt with Jiang Yue all the time, but after he found out they couldn't be intimate for a long time, he became surprisingly well-behaved. The next day, he went out hunting as usual and followed Yuan Keiki's instructions. So besides meat, he also brings back some wild fruits to give Jiang Yue extra nutrition. Jiang Yue enjoyed them a lot. The fruits here are really high in sugar, not like the sour wild fruits near the white fox tribe. Qianren noticed she loved these fruits. He brought back a mountain of different fruits the next day. Jiang Yue was stunned. Is he for real? Doesn't he know fruits go bad? Qianren looked at Jiang Yue with a confused face. He had no idea why she was glaring at him again. Jiang Yue sighed inwardly. The climate here is way too humid. There's no way to make dried fruits, so all these will just go to waste for nothing. She didn't trust Qianren at all. But she didn't stand on ceremony either. She just ordered Qianren around to get whatever she needed. The stone bed is too hard. I can't sleep well on it. I need animal skin cushions and a fire for cooking. Also, pregnant females can't eat raw meat. Though Qianren didn't understand why. He would always fulfill Jiang Yue's requests. He just nodded after hearing that and left again. Just then, Yuan Keiki came back from relieving herself. She drooled when she saw the mountain of fruits. So many fruits. Qianren's not around. Then I'll dig in first. Sister Jiang Yue, you eat too? Yuan Keiki is a very carefree person. No matter how wronged she feels, as long as there's food, she bounces back right away. Jiang Yue was a little envious of her. With such a carefree person by her side, she picked up a mango and started eating. But soon Jiang Yue was shocked again. Yuan Keiki, the little hamster, was eating with her cheeks stuffed full, with Yuan Keiki eating nonstop. The fruit mountain was shrinking at a visible speed. Jiang Yue stared at her in complete shock. Yuan Keiki's appetite is really huge. Time flew by. Jiang Yue's belly grew bigger and bigger. She ate well and slept well, and even put on some weight. When she reached the late stage of pregnancy, just like when she was pregnant with her first litter, she insisted on getting out of bed to exercise. Yuan Keiki was very amazed by her willpower. She supported her every time they walked. Though Qianren didn't show his face, Jiang Yue knew he was guarding nearby, not far away. Every night, the three of them would eat together, though it was quiet. At least no more dangerous incidents happened. Qianren's cooking can't even be called barely passable. It tastes like shit. Most male orcs live really rough lives. Before he met Jiang Yue, Qianren had never even eaten cooked food. But over the past month or so, he learned the most basic cooking methods, boiling and grilling. He no longer burns the meat, and doesn't put too much salt anymore either. Every time Jiang Yue ate the roasted pigeon, even though the only seasoning was salt, it smelled good enough to travel for miles. When Keiki ate without any manners at all, her mouth was covered in grease. In this kind of atmosphere, Jiang Yue went into labor without any warning. She had given birth once before, so she already had experience. But Qianren had never seen anything like this before. He was so anxious that he paced back and forth non-stop. Is she okay? What's wrong? Yuan Keiki, on the other hand, was calm. It's okay. All females go through this when giving birth. Go get some hot water ready first. I'll take care of things here. Jiang Yue's forehead was covered in cold sweat. This labor was much faster than the last one. And way more painful too. She gritted her teeth and endured the pain. She was looking forward to the system reward for this birth. Suddenly, she felt a sense of relief. The first fox cub was born. It's out, the baby's here. It's a little white fox cub, UNKK exclaimed in surprise and joy. The system's voice also rang right after, congratulations, host. You have given birth to 10 offspring in your second litter, 6 males, 4 females. 1 genetically mutated 3-tailed green fox, 1 genetically mutated snow fox, 3 white foxes, and 5 red foxes. Talents, 2 red, 2 orange, 2 yellow, 3 green, 1 cyan. You have obtained 1,573 points. Jiang Yue felt like she had hit the jackpot. She calculated her current points, including the remaining points from last time. The total came to 1,660 points. Wenkeki was already frozen in shock by now. Females usually only give birth to 1 cub at a time. If there are twins, it shocks the entire region, even the whole continent. Someone like Jiang Yue who has 10 cubs in 1 litter, she had never even dared to imagine that. Her hands, which were wiping the cubs' bodies, were almost trembling with excitement. Sister Jiang Yue, you're so fertile. Jiang Yue smiled. That's right, I have top-tier fertility. Wenkeke gasped. Beast God freaking above. Yuankeke, actually get the chance to deliver babies for a female with top-tier fertility. She knelt on the ground, muttering something devoutly. She was probably thanking the beast god. Jiang Yue shifted to her beast form and started nursing the little cubs. Kenren was staring at the stone bed, at the little fox nursing the cubs for a very long time. The gentle look in her eyes somehow made Kenren feel very warm inside. He even thought the fox cubs weren't that annoying anymore. After all, they were Jiang Yue's cubs. Maybe he could just raise them for now? He struggled with this thought for a long time, then let out a soft sigh, and silently stood guard at the cave entrance. Jiang Yue slept until noon the next day. Wen Keke was a very responsible witch doctor. She took care of the cubs with all her heart. There were too many cubs, so she carried them to Jiang Yue in turns to nurse, with 3 beast husbands guarding her side. Though she had plenty of food and supplies, Jiang Yue still felt extremely tired. It was a constant mental tension, especially after the cubs were born. She had a strong maternal instinct to protect her cubs. She found Qianren more and more unpleasant to look at. Though after the cubs were born, Qianren hadn't done anything out of line and had never touched any of the cubs. The way he looked at Jiang Yue was getting stranger and stranger. Jiang Yue knew exactly what he wanted, of course. They'd been together for so long, and they hadn't been intimate yet. She was afraid that once the cubs were weaned, they would be sent away by Qianren. Qianren still went out hunting as usual these days, but he stopped carefully avoiding Jiang Yue. Instead, he got closer and closer to her. He even intentionally made physical contact with her sometimes. Every time Jiang Yue touched his cold skin, she would recall the scene during the flood. The harm he did to Yanche and Hopu was always etched in Jiang Yue's mind, but the way Qianren looked at Jiang Yue got more and more passionate. To avoid being intimate with Qianren, she could only use nursing the cubs as an excuse. She stayed in her beast form for a long time, but this obviously couldn't delay things for too long. That day, Qianren left the cave again to go hunting. Jiang Yue looked at Yuan Keke seriously. Keke, let's run away. Yuan Keke was startled. She had been timid since she was little, let alone disobey a red-ranked snake orc. She even had to summon up all her courage just to talk to him. Jiang Yue held her hand and said, You saw it too, right? Have you ever heard of anyone having 10 cubs in 1 litter like me? Wen Kiki had no idea why she suddenly brought this up. She shook her head blankly. Other than the legendary females with top-tier fertility, no one can do that. Keki, we've spent so much time together, and I trust you. If I told you there's something even more amazing about me, would you be scared? Yuan Keki shook her head hard like a rattle. Sister Jiang Yue, to be honest, if I was the one abducted here by the snake orc and forced to bear his mark, I would have broken down a long time ago. But you not only successfully gave birth to the cubs, you've also held your own against him this whole time. In my eyes, you're absolutely amazing. Jiang Yue gave a gentle smile. I am the one blessed by the beast god. I ended up stranded here by misfortune. As the envoy of the beast god grants me miracles every once in a while. Jiang Yue waved her hand. A delicate wooden boat appeared outside the cave. But to avoid making too much noise, the boat was put away right after it appeared. It vanished right where it was in an instant. I hope I can get help from you and the hamster clan. Once I'm rescued, I will take the treasures bestowed by the beast god and give a portion of them to you and the hamster clan. Will you help me get out of here? Wenkeki's eyes were full of reverence. I am willing to pledge loyalty to the beast god, and to the one blessed by him. Zhang Yue helped Wenkeki up. Come on, get up. Thanks for taking care of me these days. But the cubs can't leave me right now. I need you to take advantage of the time when Chenren is out every day. Leave the cave. Look for the edge of the island. Once the location and route are confirmed, we'll set off as soon as possible. Yuankeki looked a little worried. But Sister Zhang Yue, I've never survived in the wild before. I can't even tell directions at all. Besides, there are lots of snakes and insects in the mangrove forest here. If we want to get out of here, it's really dangerous. Shogun nodded. She quickly flipped through the system panel in her mind. She spent over 500 points in one go, exchanged for a bottle of snake and insect repellent balm stick, a compass, and some smoke bombs. Zhang Yue handed these 3 items to Yuan Keke. These are all given to me by the beast god. I'll teach you how to use them. Yuan Keke had never seen so many magical things before. For a moment, the timid little hamster felt confident. She admired Zhang Yue even more. Zhang Yue tempered her enthusiasm a little. But even with these things, you must be extra careful. Your life comes first. It's getting late today. Chenren will be back soon. Hide these things first for me. With Yuan Keki's help, she felt much more confident. Otherwise, even if she escaped on her own, with the help of the system, she wouldn't survive long in the wild anyway. With the hamster clan as backup, at least they will have a place. To stay after they escape? Escape. Zhang Yue, who had been imprisoned for 2.5 years, was finally about to escape. Just then, Chenren returned to the cave with a wild hare. Zhang Yue had an idea, and put on a smile. Chenren, I want to eat honey. Can you get some for me? Chenren had never seen her smile before. Even though they had already become mates, she had always been cold to him. A strange sense of excitement rose in his chest immediately. I'll go get it tomorrow. Zhang Yue smiled again. She even held his arm and said sweetly, Great. Shall we eat it together? Chenren's brain was already muddled. He walked into the cave clumsily, moving his hands and feet on the same side. The next day, before Zhang Yue woke up, Chenren had already set off. The mangrove island was his territory. He knew very well there was no honey here. He had to go to other islands to look for it. As soon as Chenren left, Yuan Keke hurried to wake Zhang Yue up. Sister Zhang Yue, wake up. He's gone. Zhang Yue opened her eyes instantly. She took all the things she had prepared yesterday and handed them all to Yuan Keke. You go scout the route first. Make sure to put safety first. It's okay if you fail. Just come back safely. Seeing how nervous she was, Yuan Keke stuck out her tongue. I'm very timid, you know. Don't worry, as soon as something feels off, I'll throw a smoke bomb and run for my life. Zhang Yue felt a lot more relieved. She also gave Yuan Keke 2 energy bars to take with her. Only then did she let her leave. Yuan Keke pushed through the bushes and left quietly, making rustling sounds. Zhang Yue could only stay in the cave alone. She was anxious and could do nothing but wait. Clumps of fluffy cubs climbed up and down on her body. In just a few days, the tiger cubs had already opened their eyes. Zhang Yue caught the 2 most special mutated cubs, a scrawny little cayenne fox. Its eyes rolled around like dark jade. It was obviously a very smart cub. Zhang Yue lifted its tail to check its rear and found 2 small tail tips. They were just too small to be noticeable yet. When it grows up, it should become a handsome 3-tailed cyan fox. She then looked at the snow region fox cub. This was the first cub she gave birth to, and the only red rank female cub. Compared to other white fox cubs, this snow region fox's fur was purer and had a faint jade-like glow to it. Zhang Yue played with her cubs for a while. Only then did her mood calm down a little. No matter what, she never wanted to be separated from her cubs. She had traveled to the beast world for less than 4 months, and she already had more than 20 cubs. If nothing goes wrong, she will have even more cubs in the future. It's time to take more beast husbands to help raise the cubs. Otherwise, with just them, they can never raise so many cubs. Zhang Yue let her mind wander for a while. She heard some noise. She stood up in a hurry. She was relieved when she saw it was Yuan Keke. Are you okay, Kiki? Yuan Keke looked a little excited. I'm fine, Sister Zhang Yue. The beast god blessed me. I didn't run into any danger along the way. There were no giant beasts around either. And I found a spot on the riverbank. That's perfect for launching the boat. Zhang Yue's heart raced with excitement. That's wonderful. Go clean yourself up first. Chenren will be back soon. Don't let him suspect anything. Got it. Yuan Keke was over the moon. She had been trapped here for almost 2 months. She finally had a chance to leave. Tianren didn't come back until evening. He searched dozens of small islands before he finally found a beehive. The good thing was, when he got back to the cave, he saw Jiang Yue waiting for him at the cave entrance. Instead of just taking care of the cubs like she usually did, Tianren curled the corner of his lips. Did his female finally realize that she should please her own male? He put the hole-ridden beehive in front of Jiang Yue. "Eat it, it's fresh." Jiang Yue smiled sweetly. "Okay, Tianren, let's have it together." Jiang Yue was gentler than ever before, which lowered Tianren's guard completely. He even forgot to ask where Yuan Keiki had gone. He was muddled as Jiang Yue pulled him to sit down. Then a drop of sweet honey was put into his mouth. Jiang Yue fed him with her finger. Tianren subconsciously sucked on her soft, snow-white finger. The loud sucking sound made both of them feel awkward. Jiang Yue pulled her finger back awkwardly. She just wanted to use this sweet trick to lower Tianren's guard. But she didn't want to actually get involved with him for real. Jiang Yue looked away. The cubs must be hungry. I'll go check on them. Tianren savored the sweet taste in his mouth. His gaze on Jiang Yue's back grew more intense. For all these years, Jiang Yue was the only person he considered important. He had to have Jiang Yue. But he had no idea that Jiang Yue and Yuan Keiki were planning to escape the next day. Jiang Yue closed her eyes and fell asleep soon. The cubs crowded around wanting to nurse. They nuzzled against their mother's body. Tianren walked silently to her bedside. He gazed at her sleeping face. A faint smile played on her lips. I wonder what sweet dream she is having. Tianren's heart completely melted. It seemed like some brand new emotion was about to burst out of his chest. He took a deep breath and pressed a kiss on Jiang Yue's forehead. Then he turned and left the cave. The next day, Jiang Yue was woken up by daylight. She stretched lazily and held Tianren's hand. Tianren, I want a long-haired beast hide as a carpet. The cubs will be able to move around on the ground in a few days. They need space to crawl. Can you get one for me? Her warm, soft little hand was actively placed into his palm. Tianren couldn't help curling the corners of his lips. I'll be right back. Jiang Yue pretended to wander around near the cave for a while and checked on the cubs again. After confirming Tianren had left the mangrove territory, she hurriedly called Yuan Keiki over. It's finally time. Let's go quickly, Yuan Keiki said excitedly, looking around sneakily. Can we really leave now? Sister Jiang Yue, I still feel like I'm dreaming right now. My dad and brothers must be worried sick, Jiang Yue said with a smile. You will be able to go home and reunite with them soon. But this is no time for small talk. Let's hurry up and go. Jiang Yue carried all 10 cubs on her back, packed up their few belongings, and set off resolutely. The 2 adults and 10 little ones set off just like that. The 2 of them spent an hour, following the route Yuan Keiki had scouted out, and finally reached the shore. Jiang Yue summoned a small boat out of thin air. Each of them grabbed a paddle and started rowing with great effort. They had to find a place to stay as soon as possible before the sun set. Otherwise, in the wilderness of the beast world, 2 defenseless females would never survive. They kept rowing until the sun sank low in the west. Suddenly, something unexpected happened on the calm river surface. A piece of driftwood floating on the river gradually approached the small boat. The next second, an 8-meter-long giant crocodile opened its enormous mouth, bigger than a full-grown human, and lunged violently at Yuan Keiki in the boat to bite her. Jiang Yue silently chanted superpower stick in her mind. A familiar surge of power rushed through her entire body. Taking advantage of this moment, her petite fist slammed hard into the crocodile's jaw. Yuan Keiki was stunned with fear. She knew Jiang Yue had special abilities, but she had no idea she was this freaking powerful. The next second, Yuan Keiki's jaw dropped in shock. She could fit a whole duck egg in her mouth. The crocodile that had snuck up on the boat looked as if it had crashed into a moving train. Its entire body went flying, then crashed heavily back into the water, sending up a huge splash. Jiang Yue pulled her fist back. The delicate knuckles of her hand were bright red, with a faint trickle of blood seeping out. Yuan Keiki asked worriedly, Sister Jiang Yue, you're hurt? I'm fine, let's go. It's still nearby. My power is all used up. Let's get out of here fast. The 2 of them paddled as hard as they could, but the crocodile had no intention of leaving. It was still lurking right next to the small boat. A drop of cold sweat rolled down Jiang Yue's forehead. The beast world is full of dangers everywhere, and she had very few life-saving tricks left. What made it even more desperate was that, just over a minute later, several other slightly smaller crocodiles closed in around them. They were surrounded. Jiang Yue stopped rowing, her expression grave. Kiki, I got you into this mess. I'll jump down and draw the crocodiles away later. You take the cubs and go, Sister Zhangyue, what are you doing? When Kiki knew Zhangyue had a lot of amazing tricks up her sleeve, but she didn't want to watch Zhangyue go to her death. Zhangyue looked at her with determined eyes. Kiki, I trust you. You must protect the cubs well. I'm entrusting them to you now. If I don't come back, I'm sure Yuan Yi can raise them to adulthood. Without waiting for Yuan Keke to reply, she turned and jumped off the small wooden boat. Sister Zhangyue? Yuan Keke's voice came through, thick with tears. Zhangyue's nose stung a little. She chanted silently in her mind. Exchange for depth charge. Exchange for superpower buff. Exchange for speed buff. That familiar surge of power rushed through her again. Zhangyue pushed off the boat hard with her foot. The small boat cut through the waves like a sharp sword. Heading for the small island, Zhangyue didn't look back. Instead, she swam with incredible speed, as hard as she could in the opposite direction. The leading crocodile was very smart. It knew this tiny beast man was the one who had heard it earlier, so it immediately followed her. The other crocodiles also took the chance to circle around and cut her off. Zhangyue used 2 speed buffs in a row, and only managed to swim over 100 meters away. She turned around and saw all the crocodiles were following her. Zhangyue took the depth charge out of her system backpack and threw it at the crocodiles behind her. 3 seconds later, a scalding shockwave came up from under the water. Zhangyue closed her eyes, curled her body into a tight ball, preparing for the impact, but the expected pain never came. Zhangyue opened her eyes in confusion. What came into her view was black and gold snake scales. The owner of the scales spoke in a hoarse voice, a furious, almost manic glint in his snake pupils. His giant beast form coiled in the water, shielding Zhangyue securely in the middle. Bright red blood spread out in the water, dyeing a large patch of the river red. Zhangyue's brain couldn't process anything anymore. She couldn't figure out how Qianren had found her so quickly, or why he had come to save her. After all, her escape was already a betrayal to him. At this moment, the crocodile stared at Zhangyue with terrified eyes. This tiny beastman had just killed 3 of its companions. Zhangyue snorted coldly. If this crocodile hadn't attacked out of nowhere, she wouldn't have been separated from her cubs. She took a harpoon out of her system backpack and handed it to Qianren. Kill it for me. Qianren took the iron harpoon and sped towards the heavily injured crocodile boss. The harpoon stabbed hard into the crocodile's heart. The unlucky crocodile let out a mournful cry and soon lost its life. After killing the crocodile, Qianren shifted into his beast form and lifted the soaking wet Zhangyue onto his head. Zhangyue had to wrap her arms around his head to keep herself from slipping off his smooth scales. Qianren swam with Zhangyue to the nearest island. As soon as they touched land, Qianren pinned her to the damp ground. There was a playful, magnetic glint in Qianren's snake pupils. You wanted to run away? Zhangyue was soaked all over, looking both cool and stunningly beautiful. She looked back at him calmly, no trace of fear in her eyes. Qianren could hear his own heart pounding wildly and feel his heavy breathing. He kissed her lips again. His heart raced even faster, completely ignoring the pain from the wound on his back. A low growl rumbled in his throat. Zhangyue's heart also started racing. Life is just like this kind of intimate contact. If you can't fight it, you might as well close your eyes and enjoy it quietly. After 8 whole hours of being intimate, Zhangyue couldn't take it anymore. She really wanted to push Qianren off her, but pushing him several times did nothing at all. It's so hot, Zhangyue complained. Heat up some water for me? I want to take a bath. Qianren finally stopped what he was doing. He looked around, looking a bit troubled. It seems like we can't heat water here. How about I take you back to Mangrove Island tomorrow? Zhangyue took an iron pot and fire tinder out of her system backpack and handed them to Qianren. Sort it out yourself. Qianren had long gotten used to all these weird items she pulled out of nowhere. It didn't surprise him at all anymore. He obediently went around looking for firewood. Zhangyue, on the other hand, felt a lot more relaxed. After the unspoken tension between them was finally out in the open, she decided to just go with the flow. Things had gotten to this point. There was no turning back for her anyway. The only thing she needed to worry about was how her 3 fluffy mates back home would accept Qianren. After all, Qianren had attacked Yanche and Hop before. At the thought of that, Zhangyue couldn't help but sigh. Qianren soon came back with enough dry firewood. He lit the fire as he asked, "What's wrong? Are you feeling unwell anywhere?" Zhangyue rubbed her itchy nose. She was about to say she was fine, but ended up sneezing twice the second she opened her mouth. Tianren frowned. He had almost forgotten how fragile females were. When he first brought Jiang Yue to the mangrove island, she had a fever and was unconscious for ages. Jiang Yue reached into her system backpack again and pulled out a tent and a quilt. We'll sleep here tonight. Can you handle the giant beasts around here? Manny nodded. My scent is all around here. They won't dare come close. Jiang Yue then took out a towel, wiped her body down carefully, and exchanged for a pack of Isatis root granules from the system mall. She drank it before falling into a deep sleep. Tianren had never slept under such a soft pelt before. He squeezed the quilt curiously, then wrapped his long arm around her waist. He kissed her stunning side profile before closing his jade-green eyes. The next day, just as the sky was starting to lighten, a loud, sharp bird cry rang out, aggressive and challenging. Tianren opened his eyes. It was the aura of another red-rank beast. The intruder was clearly here with hostile intentions, and he was no weaker than Tianren. In midair, circled a golden-winged rock with a wingspan of over 8 meters. Tianren stared at it coldly. Who are you? Ha ha ha, so it really is a red-rank cobra. Who would have thought, 100 years after the Cobra clan fell into decline, there would still be someone as powerful as you? What a shame you're just a lowlife who steals and abuses other people's females. The golden-winged rock spoke in human language. I can sense a female's aura here, and she's not in good shape. Hand her over to me, and I'll spare your life. This golden-winged rock was named Baichenkun, a helper called in by Hop and his 2 fellow mates, using the golden-winged rock clan's ancestral tracking technique. He had followed their scent all the way, until he finally found Tianren and Jiang Yue. All the commotion had woken Jiang Yue up. She was already awake. She frowned and lifted the tent flap open. Outside, a huge fight was just about to break out. The golden-winged rock caught a glimpse of the frowning Jiang Yue from the corner of his eye. What a beautiful little female. That sentence clearly enraged Tianren. He flicked his snake tongue, opened his jaws, and let out a threatening roar. The golden-winged rock didn't hesitate any longer. It dove down like a sharp sword. Its sharp beak aimed straight for Tianren's eyes. With a sharp, piercing screech, the two clashed at a speed invisible to the naked eye. Jiang Yue saw that the two of them were clearly fighting to the death. There was no point trying to talk them out of it. Jiang Yue was a little speechless. With this level of destructive power, her tiny body could get crushed into pulp in seconds. She had no choice but to get as far away from the fight as possible. Before she left, she made sure to put away her precious tent and iron pot first. Better him than me. I'd better get out of here fast. Just as Jiang Yue was quietly backing away, a familiar voice called out from behind her. Yue, we're finally together again. We're together again. Jiang Yue was finally reunited with her 3 beastmen mates. Jiang Yue hadn't even had time to react when a familiar, fluffy figure crashed into her arms. Yansha hugged her tightly, overwhelmed with excitement, and kissed her like he never wanted to let go. He then checked Jiang Yue's body from head to toe. I'm too late. I'm such an idiot. Jiang Yue gently rubbed his beast ears and gray hair and comforted him softly. It's okay, Ache, don't worry. I'm fine, see? Yansha's sharp eyes were red when he was checking her body. He had already seen the large carving mark on her back. What kind of cruel male would do such a vicious thing to a female's body? Don't worry, Yue. I'll make whoever hurt you pay for it. Yansha shifted into his beast form, a 5-meter-long beast. With a wolf head held high, wild and dangerous, Tianren was already at the end of his strength. Orange-rank Yanshe could easily kill him. Jiang Yue sighed inwardly. She actually wanted Tianren to pay more for what he did. But she had just found out from the system that she was pregnant with Tianren's cub. Xiangjia bit her lower lip and closed her eyes for a second. Ache, spare his life. Yansha let out an angry wolf howl. The huge gray wolf leaped into the air and pounced on Tianren. The wolf's head rammed hard at him. Tianren dodged most of the attack, but still got hit on the side of his waist. He spat out a mouthful of blood. Bai Qianqun was already fighting like a madman. The noble rock had never been so humiliated before. Affected by the snake venom, he could no longer maintain his beast form, and shifted back into a handsome young man covered in blood and dirt. His blonde hair and golden eyes had lost their shine, but he still insisted on charging forward with Yan Che. Suddenly, a clear, loud bird cry rang out. Calm down, third brother. An elegant red-crowned crane, with snow-white wings spanning over 5 meters, and a cinnabar red jade crest on its forehead, appeared noble and beautiful. The red-crowned crane shifted into human form and rushed toward his younger brother. A A familiar figure jumped off his back. It was Hop. Jiang was over the moon. Hop had eyes for no one else but her. He rushed straight over and hugged her so tight he almost crushed her. He called out Yuer, his voice filled with endless longing and affection. This tough-as-nails man's hands were trembling slightly now. The overwhelming joy of having her back left his mind completely blank. Jiang Yue gently stroked the scar on Hop's face. He hadn't gone to the shaman to heal it. He had kept the scar on purpose, to remind himself that his own incompetence had caused him to lose Jiang Yue. How can you be so silly? Jiang Yue's eyes were misty with tears. We'll get it healed once we get home. The two leaned close to each other, whispering softly. Chenren's gaze grew colder and colder. Gray wolf, lion. These were Jiang Yue's mates. If he had known this earlier, he would have killed them all back then. To eliminate this problem once and for all, Jiang Yue knew exactly what he was thinking. Ignoring Hop's attempts to stop her, she walked up to Chenren. She glanced at the countless wounds all over his body. Can you hold on? Chenren let out a bitter laugh. You care. Jiang Yue slapped him hard across the face in anger. Snap out of it. Did you forget the promise you made me yesterday? Chenren curled the corner of his mouth. I didn't forget. You said, if I hurt any of them, you'd kill me yourself. I lost. Do whatever you want with me. Are you gonna kill me? Make sure you hit hard. Otherwise, with your strength, you won't even pierce my skin? You're being impossible. Jiang Yue stared at him coldly and said something that shocked everyone present. I'm not going to kill you. It's because I'm pregnant with your cubs. Everyone froze on the spot. Even Bai Qiankun, who was just fed by his elder brother, the detoxifying herbal medicine, had his eyes wide open. Chenren was stunned for a moment, before a look of ecstasy crossed his face. Jiang Yue's expression remained unchanged. She continued, but you can't realize your own problems. I won't live with you. The cubs won't belong to you either. A father like you will never be their pride. You will only be their shame. Reflect on your own mistakes carefully. Chenren heard this, and was both anxious and furious. He coughed up a mouthful of blood. Jiang Yue sighed softly, and turned to walk towards Yanche and Hope. Chenren could no longer hold himself up. He knelt down on one knee. A faint voice seemed to drift in the wind. Yuer, don't go. But the voice was too weak, and sounded full of plea. It didn't sound like something Chenren would ever say at all. Jiang Yue thought she was having an auditory hallucination. She frowned uncomfortably, but when she looked back, her line of sight was completely blocked by Yanche and Hope, one on each side. Jiang Yue had to give up. She led her two beastmates to Bai Juxiao. May I ask who you two warriors are? Bai Juxiao gave a warm, pleasant smile. You must be Jiang Shouqi, right? My brother and I are from the Golden-Winged Rock clan in the Forbidden Lands. Our clan has a long-standing feud with the Cobra clan. Patriarch Hope came to us for help, so we came to offer assistance. Jiang Yue bowed deeply to the two brothers. Thank you so much for your help. Bai Juxiao was flattered. He said hurriedly, there's no need to be so polite. My younger brother is reckless. He didn't scare you, did he, Jiang Shaoqi? Jiang Yue waved her hand. No, he didn't. Just call me Jiang Yue. Then she looked at Bai Qiankun's injuries. In front of outsiders, Jiang Yue didn't want to reveal the existence of her system backpack. Besides, she was really worried about the cubs. After weighing the options, she said, I have medicine to treat. Injuries, our hamster clan doesn't have enough healers. My younger brother needs medical treatment as soon as possible. Why don't you come with me? Actually, for red rank males, injuries can heal just by taking proper rest. No herbal medicine is better than the absurdly strong physique of red rank orcs. But Bai Juxiao was worried about his brother's health, so he nodded and agreed. The five of them flew up into the sky and left. Chenren collapsed on the blood-stained ground. He gave a bitter smile. She would show such bright and coquettish smiles to her other beastmates, but she was always cold to him. Chenren clutched his chest and lay alone on the river beach, quietly waiting for his wounds to heal. On the other side, Ling Qingyun had brought the invited red-rank silver-white beauty, Lan Qiming, and arrived at the hamster clan's territory in the 10,000 Islands wetland. As the two were talking, a surprised cheer suddenly sounded not far away. Wui's back. He came back on a really awesome boat. Lots of people say it's a sign from the beast god. Ling Qingyun looked up and saw a small wooden boat that had never been seen before in the beast world. He had only seen this kind of boat with Jiang Yue before. His heart was pounding wildly. But when he saw who was inside clearly, it felt like a bucket of cold water had been poured over his head. A round-faced female was sitting in the cabin. She was obviously not the little female he had been missing day and night. Just as he was about to leave dejectedly, a little cub's whimper caught his attention. From the animal skin bag behind Wu, a little guy gently poked out. Its fluffy little head, it was a green fox cub. The little guy met Ling Qingyun's gaze out of nowhere. The two of them, one adult and one cub, had extremely similar expressions. They looked like they were carved from the same mold. Soon, another head popped out of the animal skin bag. A snow-white fox cub licked its lips and let out a coquettish whine. His heart skipped a beat. These cubs actually carried Yueyer's scent on them. Just then, the two fox cubs suddenly jumped out of the animal skin bag and pounced straight into Ling Qingyun's arms like they knew him well. Yuan Keiki apologized hurriedly. "I'm so sorry. The cubs are being too naughty." Ling Qingyun's heart was about to be melted by these two little cuties. "Can I see the other cubs in your animal skin bag?" Yuan Keiki opened the animal skin bag. It was full of red and white fox cubs. At a glance, they were all fluffy little cute balls. Ling Qingyun was shocked, but also overwhelmed with ecstasy. "Why do you have the cubs with you?" Yuan Keiki's expression turned serious. "These are the children of my best friend. She's in trouble right now. I'm going to ask the patriarch for people to go save her." Ling Qingyun immediately caught the key information. "Is your friend the young lady of the White Fox clan? Named Jiang Yue?" Yuan Keiki was stunned. "How do you know that?" Ling Qingyun immediately pulled down the collar of his beast robe, revealing the white fox mark on his neck. "I'm her beastmate." On the other side, Jiang Yue was holding the injured blonde young orc. She exchanged for a detox pill and fed it to Bai Qiangkun. Only then did she feel relieved. Just as Jiang Yue was admiring the scenery, Bai Juxiao suddenly let out a sharp cry. Hope and Yanche immediately became alert and looked in the direction Bai Juxiao was signaling. A dark mass of black clouds was rushing towards them quickly. Bai Juxiao, who had transformed into a red-crowned crane, spoke in a human voice. "Oh no, it's a swarm of blood-sucking bats. The blood-sucking bat clan lives by sucking blood. Their individual strength is not high, but what's terrifying is their huge numbers. The blood-sucking bat clan is easily attracted by the blood of females or cubs, and Jiang Yue, who was on Bai Juxiao's back right now, became the bait for the blood-sucking bats. There were 4 people on Bai Juxiao's back, so he couldn't fly at top speed. He could only watch as the dark mass got closer and closer. The blood-sucking bat swarm let out sharp, ear-piercing screeches. In the blink of an eye, the 4 of them were surrounded by the sky-blocking swarm of blood-sucking bats. Just when they were in despair, a song that seemed to come from ancient times drifted over. The bat swarm started falling into the river, like dumplings being dropped into boiling water. They seemed to be controlled by some irresistible force, as if committing suicide. Bai Juxiao seized the opportunity and finally rushed out of the area covered by the bat swarm. The moment they saw the skylight again, Shorige made eye contact with an extremely beautiful mermaid. He was sitting at the bow of a small boat. The distant song was coming from his chest. The mermaid's blue eyes were deep and pure. His wet white hair draped over his sexy chest. He was as beautiful as an ancient Greek sculpture. Jiang Yue, stunned by the handsome man, held her breath for a moment. Then she saw the familiar red-haired fox, Qingyun. Jiang Yue was finally reunited with her 3 beastmates. The 7 of them took the small boat and rushed back to Pine Nut Island, where the hamster clan lived. From far away, they saw Yuan Keiki waving at them from the shore. "Keiki." She rushed off the boat and hugged Yuan Keiki. "Are you okay?" When Keiki's eyes were slightly red. "Sister Jiang Yue, it's most important that you're okay. I was scared to death back then." "Oh, right. Your cubs?" "I asked the nursing females in the clan to feed them. They're all asleep now." Yuan Keiki very thoughtfully put the cubs into a wooden basket and covered them with a small blanket. The little cubs were sleeping much more comfortably. Xiangge gave Yuan Keiki a grateful look. Then she called to Ling Qingyun, "Qingyun, come and see your cubs. Yancha, Hope, you two come meet them too." Ling Qingyun thought back to earlier, how he didn't recognize his own cubs at first glance. He was so stupid he could barely believe it. The family of 4 now had 10 more cubs added. The beastmates were all very skilled at taking care of them. After settling the cubs down, Jiang Yue entrusted the injured Bai brothers to Yuan Keiki for treatment. These 2 really live up to their red-tier physiques. They can already walk after only resting for such a short while. They even curiously gathered around to take a look at Jiang Yue. The amazing cubs all exclaimed in wonder one after another. Lan Qiming climbed back into the wooden barrel again. His fishtail stayed completely still on the shore. Ling Qingyun asked Yuan Keiki for a favor, to arrange for clansmen to take him to a clean stream to bathe. Anyway, with his absurdly strong power, no one can hurt him anyway. Lan Qiming gave Zhang Yue a deep look before leaving. Zhang Yue had no idea what that was about. Qingyan, that person just now, is the leader of the merfolk clan, right? An albino silver-white merfolk. I invited Lan Qiming over as reinforcements this time. His body is quite special. He can't swim around. A wave of affection naturally rose in Zhang Yue's heart. Oh, so he has a disability. And he still came all this way to save me? Qingyun, you should give him more rewards. Lin Qingyun had a splitting headache. He really wanted to say, that Lan Qiming's condition isn't a disability. It's just athlete's foot. But then he remembered the promise he made to Lan Qiming. So he gritted his teeth and said with difficulty, Yue what do you think of his looks? Zhang Yue was a little confused. He's quite good looking. Why are you asking me that? Yancha and Hope also immediately looked at him with wary eyes. Ling Qingyun closed his eyes and decided to just give up on making sense. If you like him, just take him as your mate. His strength is barely a match for you. Zhang Yue was even more confused now. Isn't Ling Qingyun always the most jealous one? Did the sun rise from the west today? Qingyun, do you have a fever? Ling Qingyun's handsome face flushed bright red. He couldn't help setting Lan Qiming up. He said, as long as you're willing to take him. He's willing to serve you tea and water. Be your slave. Kneel in front of you and let you do whatever you want. Zhang Yue's eyes went as wide as saucers. Are you serious? Lan Qiming looks so noble and aloof. He doesn't seem like someone with that kind of kink. Ling Qingyun completely gave up on correcting anything and started talking nonsense. It's true, try it if you don't believe me. Zhang Yue was half convinced, half doubtful. But she was really too curious. Fine, I'll try it later. Come to think of it, a cold and beautiful merfolk patriarch. Acting like that in private? Zhang Yue imagined the scene for a second. It's actually kind of exciting. It's not completely out of the question. That's so awkward. The little rock bird wanted to court a mate. So he secretly left a gift at the entrance of Zhang Yue's cave, but Zhang Yue mistakenly thought it was from the little merfolk. She took a leather whip and went to look for the little merfolk. Zhang Yue's family, who had just reunited, temporarily settled down in the hamster clan. Her absurdly amazing fertility soon shocked the entire hamster clan. Many infertile females would come to the entrance of Zhang Yue's temporary cave to worship her, praying that they could get pregnant as soon as possible. Even the leader of the hamster clan wanted to foist his yellow-tear son on Zhang Yue as a consort, but the hamster leader's youngest son looked like a total joke. Zhang Yue awkwardly declined politely. It's not that she judges people by their looks. She actually just found him repulsive. Zhang Yue stayed briefly at the hamster clan to rest during her pregnancy. 2 members of the Golden Rock clan stayed behind to recover from their injuries. Lan Qiming didn't leave either. What's more, the caves they chose to live in are all very close to Zhang Yue's. Since several extremely competitive males showed up, Zhang Yue's several beastmates were having very complicated feelings. On one hand, they clearly realized that with their total weakling strength, they really couldn't protect Zhang Yue well. On the other hand, a perfect female like Zhang Yue, who wouldn't want to have her for as long as possible. Zhang Yue noticed the change in their mood. To reassure her 3 beastmates, she doted on them for 3 straight days, leaving all 3 of them fully satisfied. The Bai brothers, after receiving treatment from Yuan Keke, have already recovered most of their strength. Yuan Keke chatted while treating them, and everything she talked about was how beautiful her sister Zhang Yue was. How gentle, brave, and loyal she was. The 2 of them talked enthusiastically, their faces lighting up. Bai Zhuxiao just listened quietly from the side. Bai Duncan's interest in Zhang Yue had already reached its peak. He couldn't help going to see Zhang Yue several times while recovering from his injuries. But every time, the blush-inducing, heart-pounding sounds from inside the cave kept him from entering. As a hot-blooded young guy who's also a little weak in the kidneys, Bai Dankun couldn't stand listening to this. He brought gifts to Zhang Yue's door every day and eavesdropped outside. So every time after Zhang Yue was done being intimate with her mates, she would find a lot of gifts at the entrance of the cave. Zhang Yue had no idea where they came from. She remembered what Ling Qingyun told her. About the merfolk's weird kinks? Her pretty face flushed red, and she thought these gifts were from Lan Qiming. After calming down her 3 beastmates, she decided to go see Lan Qiming. As she got close to the mountain spring, she saw the bright sky first. Sunlight streamed down through the forest. The sunlight fell on the silver-white merfolk, outlining him in a gorgeous golden border. Lan Qiming had sensed Zhang Yue approaching a long time ago. He was a little smug. Even a female with top-tier fertility will definitely be conquered by this king's charm, right? Isn't she coming to me on her own right now? Meanwhile, Zhang Yue was thinking to herself, even such a noble and elegant merfolk has been waiting for me for 3 whole days and hasn't even gotten to see me once. I'm really so charming. Lan Qiming adjusted himself to a more charming pose by the spring, showing off all the advantages of his figure. He stared deeply at Zhang Yue with his azure blue eyes, so captivating that people couldn't help getting lost in them. Zhang Yue picked up on what she thought was the merfolk's flirting signal. She shyly pulled a whip out from behind her back. Do you want to kneel on the ground and be whipped by this empress? The awkward atmosphere hung in the air for a moment. Lan Qiming's expression didn't change at all. The stunningly beautiful silver-white merfolk suddenly appeared right in front of her in a flash. Zhang Yue was startled. Staring at that handsome face so close to hers, she stammered a little. What's wrong? Lan Qiming glanced at the whip in her hand, his tone carrying an inexplicable hint of amusement. You're into some kinky stuff. Hosyu gave a sweet smile. You wanted to see me so badly. So I came to see you. I heard from Qingyun that you want to be my beast mate. Lan Qiming automatically ignored the first half of her sentence and went along with this wonderful misunderstanding. I am indeed very interested. But it depends on your performance. This king isn't that easy, Lan Qiming said enigmatically. Also, if you really want to play this kind of game, remember to make a new whip next time. I'm a neat freak. Zhang Yue had no more tricks up her sleeve, so she had to give up. Then I'll leave, I won't disturb your peaceful rest. Lan Qiming quietly used the tip of his fishtail to wrap around her ankles. Zhang Yue stumbled and fell into a warm, damp embrace. Zhang Yue struggled to no avail. What are you doing? Lan Qiming flipped over. Are the 3 in your cave all relying on this kind of method to become your mates? I really underestimated them, but I prefer to take the initiative myself. His handsome face grew larger in her vision, and their soft lips pressed together. Zhang Yue was forced to accept this kiss. Her mind went all fuzzy from the kiss. She couldn't even remember how she got back to her cave. Her 3 beast mates at home saw her swollen red lips and looked away uncomfortably. Zhang Yue came back to her senses and immediately felt annoyed. There's no way to keep everyone happy, is there? She needs to become stronger through the childbirth system. So she has to take more powerful beast mates and give birth to more children. This kind of thing will happen a lot more in the future. The 3 of them have to learn to get used to it. I'll just have to make it up to them more later. This pregnancy has been very smooth for her. There are no strong fetal movements at all. After consulting the system, Zhang Yue learned that it is because she is carrying snake eggs. The snake eggs need to be incubated after being laid. Zhang Yue was a bit speechless. Their snake father is not around. I don't know how to incubate them either. Host, you can find a male orc who knows how to incubate eggs. Oh, then roughly when will I give birth to this litter? The pregnancy period for oviparous species is shorter than that of viviparous ones. Host, you will give birth in half a month. After that, you only need to incubate the eggs externally. Half a month from now, Zhang Yue thought to herself. That's indeed the case. It's much shorter than the time it took to carry the lion and tiger cubs. Looking at it this way, oviparous cubs are quite cost-effective. They can be gestated in a much shorter time. So I can get the system rewards. But she needs to, within these 2 weeks, find a male orc who is willing to incubate eggs for her. Moreover, this person must be oviparous. Suddenly, Zhang Yue had a brainwave. Whoopoo! All of your golden-winged rock clan are oviparous, aren't you? Hova nodded. All birds are oviparous. What's wrong, Yuer? Zhang Yue stroked her slightly bulging belly. The snake cubs will probably come out in half a month. I need to find someone to help me incubate the eggs. Huopa suddenly realized what she meant, but this was completely outside his scope of knowledge. He hesitated a little. I'm not sure. If the incubation method for snake eggs is the same as that for bird eggs, let's go ask about it. At this very moment, Baikeng-kun was hanging upside down from a tree trunk, letting the cold, icy rain slap randomly on his face. As a noble golden-winged rock, he had never been so frustrated before. He had been giving gifts for several days in a row,